Well, hello everyone. I'm Rachel Tessman from StampYourArtOut.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Andover, Minnesota in the US, and I'm here to bring you a live paper crafting class, and we're gonna have fun with a kit today. This is a kit that's been around for a while. It's called Bunch of Thanks, and I've had lots of people request that I do alternates with it. I finally got my hands on it, and it's so fun. It's a unique kit. The cards are already stunning as is. Like, you don't need to do anything different to this kit, but I thought I would share some alternates so that you could double the cards. So welcome everybody. It is December 27th, 2025 at 10 a.m. Central Time on a Saturday as I'm coming to you live, and we're gonna do the Bunch of Thanks kit. Let me show this to you really quick. So this is the kit that we're gonna be playing around with. And you can see, like, look at those unique cards. They're fun fold cards. They're just, the shape of them, they have like this unique shape and everything, and they're really cool. So they're a bunch of thank you cards. You get to make 4 of 2 different kinds, and then you have these beautiful floral looking envelopes too. Inside every kit that Stampin' Up! Offers, we have visual directions so that you can follow step by step and make the cards as intended. But Rachel Tessman loves to make alternates with these kits. And so I'm going to introduce to you the ways to make these cards, but I also have more than that. So we're gonna take and make these cards today. I'm gonna show you some other options that you have in case you don't want the bright blue background, or in case you don't wanna use that ribbon or things like that, okay? So, and they are, you know, like the kind of card that you would open just like this, you know? So, but let me show you the card that comes in the kit. So these are the kit pieces. And let's see, you get 2 envelopes for, you know, each different kind of card. This is just supplies for the 2 different cards, okay? So for one of the cards, you have this one, and you can see you have like this background here that folds over. And this is just a easy alternate that I made with it, and I'll explain that one in a minute. But these fold in, and then they make kind of a little wrap around the flower, and then you're supposed to add these little tags to them and these extra little flowers to them. But I took these tags and flowers and made them separate, and then I cut up the envelopes. So that's one set of supplies, and then this is the other set, or I think these actually flip like that. How many of you have this kit? Shout out if you have this kit. I'd love to know. If you've made alternates, I'd love to know too. There is an actual group on Facebook. It's called the Kits Collection Fan Club, and it's like a sister group to the Paper Pumpkin Fan Club. So if you love making alternates with kits and you've dabbled in alternates with Kits Collection, you want to share those ideas, you can do so in the Kits Collection Fan Club on Facebook. This is the really easy alternate that I did with it. So I took the base and I folded the 2 sides in as the kit instructs you to do. But instead of adding these extra flowers here and this little sentiment piece, I don't know where it sticks, somewhere in here, like this, I thought, they don't need to be there. It just needs to be like a little wrap. And then I put a Velcro dot on here instead of taking the 14 inches of the twine and wrapping it around. I thought this would be a more unique way to close it up, and so that you don't have to constantly tie and untie the ribbon. Not yet. Some of you have got it, but like Nance, but she says she hasn't touched it yet. Okay. So hopefully these ideas will inspire you. So this is one way that you can alter it. Now, if you alter it this way, so here's this card, right? And we've altered it by just doing that. We have these extra couple pieces left over. And then you can do a card like the one I'm going to show you right now. Okay? So let's dive in with the paper trimmer. We have 8.5 by 11 cardstock that we're adding to this, because if you're going to double the cards in the kit, or you're going to triple or quadruple, right? Those are the terms that I've been using. You need to have extra cardstock so that you can take those pieces and cut them up and shift them onto other card bases. So we're using a color called Coastal Cabana. If this color is too bright for you, Crumb Cake is a great idea too. This is Crumb Cake. It's the color that is kind of this accent color here, just a little bit darker version of it. Or you could use like White Willow. White Willow's a nice white that goes with this kit. I'm going to use Coastal Cabana, and we're going to score at 4¼ inches. And I chose this color because I wanted bright, cheerful cards. So we're going to score. We're going to use the light blade. Here is the edge of our cardstock at 4¼ and then we've got it pressed up to the top of our trimmer, and we're just going to press through here. We're scoring both card bases at the same time. We're going to rotate now, and we're going to cut. Margaret has alternates. Oh, I would love to see them. The Velcro dots are something that I have linked in my favorite extras. So if you go to my website at stampyourartout.com, you can see in the shop tab, there is a section called My Favorite Extras, and you can go there and click on those links, and it will take you to where you can buy them on Amazon. Okay, so there we have 2 card bases. I'm going to take one of the card bases and fold it in half. And then we're going to use the bone folder because this is a nice handy tool. It's not a necessary tool, but it's so nice. I just love being able to curl things with it and flatten out my cardstock with it. Okay, and now we'll take those 2 pieces, which I think I set here, and I'm going to compare to make sure that, yep, these are the ones. Okay, so now we're going to take and stamp onto this sentiment piece here, and I have that stamp set up. It says, thanks a bunch. Oh my gosh, I haven't even shown you the stamps that come in the kit. So every kit, except the ones that come with like pre-printed labels, they come with stamps. So we have a stamp set here, and depending on which kit you get, or which country you're in, I suppose, you get the different sentiments in different languages, right? So this is my stamp set. I have the English version here, and I've already peeled off these 3 stamps, and I've got them mounted onto clear blocks so that I can use them. You do get a clear block with each of the kits, collection kits, that contain stamps. And then you get a little ink pad too. We're going to be using Mossy Meadow ink, but we're going to be using it in the larger version. So this is the one that you can get off the Stampin' Up site, you know, just in the regular supplies. Okay. Who else has it? Nikki has it. Have you made anything with it yet? All right, checking to see if there's any other questions. Oh, thanks, Lynn. She likes the choice of Coastal Cabana. I was even thinking Summer Splash, but Summer Splash is a little greener than this, and I wanted kind of a little more subdued. Okay, so now we're going to take the Bunch of Thanks stamp, and we're going to open up our ink pad. It's like a little compact. You just open it like that, and then you can slide it into the base. By the way, thank you all for joining me. This is so nice that you were able to come onto this live with me between Christmas and New Year's, if those are the holidays you celebrate, because I know this is such a busy time of year for so many of you. We're going to shift this. In fact, I'm going to put this against something dark, so that, or here, we'll just put it against the cardstock so that you can see where I'm stamping. So we're inking it up, and we're going to left justify a bit so that we have room for our flowers to be connected to the tag part. So we're going to press, and you're not going to rock, you're just going to press evenly, and you've got your stamp stamped down. This piece is going to be added to the card as is. And if you want to, you can get fancy. You can add, like, I don't know if you have any floral stamps. This stamp set does not come with any stamp images that are floral, but if you wanted to get fancy, you could stamp the background tone on tone, maybe do Coastal Cabana on Coastal Cabana, or you could do, and I'm referring to ink, by the way. We have Coastal Cabana ink, we have Mossy Meadow ink, we have all these Stampin' Up colors, right? So we're gonna just add this with a little bit of seal adhesive, and I'm gonna add that slightly to the left because we wanna have room for our flowers. So then you'll just sit and rotate your flowers to see where they look great. And I think I like it like this. So we'll add that down about here. So it's about 1 inch away from the left side and 1 inch up from the bottom. And I'm going to zoom in because I just realized I'm kind of far away now. Oops, wrong one. There we go. Okay, and now we can take and add this, but I want a little bit of shadowing. So I decided that we're going to flip this over and we're going to add dimensionals. Now your kit also comes with adhesives. That's another wonderful thing about kits. The only thing that you need to add when you are creating with Stampin' Up kits is a scissors. And otherwise you're set to go. because sometimes you'll need to cut twine because this kit comes with twine. Sometimes you don't even need a scissors. All right, so we're gonna take some mini dimensionals. These are the same size that come in the kit, and I'm just gonna add them to the back. I always tap into my Stampin' Up! Supplies that I have already been using, and that way I can save these for little gifts to people or whatever. All right, so we're gonna peel the backings off. So dimensionals are foam adhesive. They're like little foam dots. Oh, that one's not sticking, hang on. Press it a little harder. And we'll put one more up here. The wonderful thing about kits is that you do have all your supplies contained within. That is just the beauty of them, right? And you can make alternates with them. Some people don't think about that, but you can. You can make alternates, right? And then you can be creative with kits where you have everything you need on hand. You can travel with them. You can take them to long days out or whatever if you want to just have a crafting getaway. But you have the ability to do with what you want, right? So even though it's dictating you to make the cards like this, you don't have to. Just bring some extra supplies and change it up. Okay, so there's that so far. Now, because it's a little plain, I thought it'd be nice to add some twine or ribbon. The ribbon that I added on my original cards that you see in the photos, like the photos on the blog post that's connected to this video, or the photo that's happening at the beginning of the video that you saw, is that I brought in this Mossy Meadow and gold ribbon, and it's amazing. It's so pretty. It's more gold on one side than it is on the other, but you still see both colors within. And so I'm going to do a little rabbit ear kind of bow. So I'm just looping it, and I'm crossing those two loops over each other like that and doing an overhand knot. And then on the last little part before I tighten it, I'm going to take and twist this one, and you can twist in either direction, doesn't matter. I'm going to twist it this way just so that I can expose that gold a little bit more. So I'm tightening it so that I can see that golder side a little bit more. And then I'll cut, and I can stick it on. Now, if you're not into doing ribbon in a bow, you can take and do a knot. So you just do an overhand knot, and before you tighten it, you can twist one end and tighten. And that way you'll see both of this, on one side, you'll see the goldish side or the greenish side, whichever you like. So this is the style I did on my finished card. So I just did a little knot, and you can add it wherever you want. You could put it here, you could put it down here, wherever your ribbon seems to work best for you. You have another option though too. In your kit, you are able to make little bows out of the twine. So you get some twine with it. And if you're able to make, because you get 4 of 2 different kinds, you get 8 cards. If you're able to make 8 cards with 14 inches, you can make 16 cards with 7 inches. So we're going to cut it around the 7-inch mark, and we're just going to tie a bow out of that. Or a knot. You could do a knot or whatever. You won't use up as much if you're doing a knot. Oh, and I have that kind of lopsided, but that's okay. You get the idea. So you can make a bow, and you can add that on here. It's not as bright as maybe this one would be, right? Because you've got more sparkle, more pizzazz coming in. So that's why with the Coastal Cabana color, I did add this ribbon instead of just the twine. I just thought it kind of brought in a little bit something more. To put your ribbon or your glue dots on, I highly recommend, oh, and I opened it up already, so now it's rolling around on my table. Here it is. I highly recommend using glue dots, okay? The glue dots are the easiest. Now this kit doesn't come with glue dots, even though you have twine, because the idea of using the twine is to wrap it around the card and tie it. So you're not actually attaching it to the card, but many kits with twine or ribbons come with glue dots so that you can add those things really easily. So we're just gonna add that on like that. And then after I did that, so I'm kind of walking you through the process. Thanks, Kelly. I'm walking you through the process of how I kind of came up with these cards. After I did this one, I said, well, this is a card that needs maybe a little bit more floral. And so for the inside layer, from the envelope, I'm gonna go ahead and steal this flower section for it, okay? So we're gonna do that, but I also thought it needed a little bit more sparkle on the outside. So a perfect, I'm gonna hold this down with the tape here. A perfect embellishment that I thought went well with this is this one here. It's got the nice bright yellow, the green, and kind of a bluish color, and they're sparkly and kind of iridescent-y sparkles. This is called our low profile dots. And so I'm gonna grab my almost used up sheet. And actually I'll use this one because it has both sizes on it. And I'm going to take your pick tool. Can you see this? Sorry, I'm kind of off camera here. I'm gonna push with the gummy end against the largest of my green low profile dots. I'm gonna push and then slide, and it's going to pick it up. And now I have the sticky side here and the top part here, and I can easily just add that wherever I want on my card because I've got it, it kind of stuck to the gummy part. I'm gonna lift that up and bring it a little closer. All right, the next one, I'm gonna do another large one, and I'm gonna stick that one over here, and a small one over here. So now we have just a little bit more of that continued sparkle across the front. For the inside of that card, I am going to take and cut my envelope. So if you're gonna cut your envelopes, you're gonna need extra envelopes. Let's see, here they are. So we have packs of basic white medium-sized envelopes that you can take and purchase from the online store. This is a must if you're gonna be doing cutting of your envelopes from your kits. You need to kind of replace them with the plain envelopes, right? So we're gonna trim off the edges on the sides. It's one of my favorite ribbons, Margaret. I'm glad you like it too. I'm a green fan, as many of you know, but I just love the fact that it sparkles and it's got a little bit metallic in it too. So now we have our envelope opened. We're gonna trim just above the score line to separate that. And then we're gonna trim again on the other side of the score line. And I'm giving you this hint because if you don't have a sharp blade on your trimmer, you don't wanna cut directly on the bump of the score line of the envelope, or you're gonna have ratted edges and stuff. Now we're gonna turn it this way and we're gonna cut at 3 1/4, and that will remove these rounded sections here. We're gonna trim about a 1/2 inch off of one side, and that will help remove this excess cardstock that's on the back here. And then again, we're gonna cut on the other side, and we're gonna look at the measurements over here this time, and we're gonna go to 4 1/2. So our layer that we've got that's just plain white is 3 1/4 by 4 1/2, which is a wonderful size for the for a layer inside a card, because you can see here we have a 1/2 inch all the way around this way. So that will be a layer that we'll use on one card, but for this one that has just a tiny bit of floral on the front, we're going to cut this at 4 1/8. So I'm looking at this side here and going to 4 1/8 inches. That will remove the top flap that has the gum on it and all that stuff, right? We don't need that. And then because we already have this beautiful floral piece here, we don't want to trim on that side. We're going to rotate it and use that edge to line up with the 5 3/8 inch mark on our trimmer, and then we'll cut. So what we've got here is we've got a 1/16 of an inch exposed all the way around. So it's 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. Okay. Alrighty. Can we purchase the new stamp envelopes separately? Are you talking about these? These you can purchase separately. This is a non-kit piece, like this didn't come in the kit. These are the basic white envelopes, and in fact all the supplies that I'm using are listed in the description of the video, plus there's a link to my blog post, so if you want to, you can click on the blog post and look at the finished photos as we're working on this. So now we're going to add this to the inside. I hope that's what you were asking about, Deb. If you weren't, let me know. The kit envelopes themselves, no. So like these envelopes that come in the kit, these can't be purchased separately. All the kit consumables come in kits. You don't You can't get them separately. Now with paper pumpkin kits, that's a different story. So maybe that's what you're kind of thinking of. Paper pumpkin kits, when those ship, that's a subscription program. And when those ship, they ship out full kits that include the stamps and the ink and all that. But then they offer afterwards what's called a refill kit. And those are just the consumables without the stamps and ink. Because this kit does come with stamps and ink, it's nice to be able to extend it. Because if you don't want to purchase multiple kits and have multiple stamps and ink, because that's what's going to happen with that. This kit isn't offered in a refill type of thing. You will get stamps and ink that you have multiples of, then you might not need. So that's why I like to double the cards or triple the cards from Kits Collection kits that contain stamps and ink, so you can make those go a little bit further. Okay. She said, no, the envelopes that the stamp sets come in now. Oh, are you talking about, okay, I think you're talking about the organization for stamps and dies. So the stamps and dies do come in, that's the regular Stampin' Up! Product, these things here. So the stamps and dies now come in this larger envelope. I hope I'm answering this correctly, Deb. And we're kind of sidetracking here, but yes, these can be purchased separately. These are called stamp and die organizers. Okay, all right. So that card is pretty much complete. And now I'm going to do, I'm going to pull in the opposite one. So this is one, and then this is the other one using the other floral piece. And oops, I forgot to pop that out of the middle. There's a little white. Oh, you know what? It's probably got a dimensional behind it. There's a little white insert there that could have been popped out. And I didn't do that. That's okay. Anyways, you can pop that out if you want to. It's just a little section. In fact, let me show you on another piece that I have here somewhere, because I do have more of these pieces. They're all over the place. Here we go. So this is what I'm talking about. Like this little section here can be removed, but I forgot to remove it on mine. So those are the two made from those extra pieces. And then we're going to take the pieces that look like this. So we have this one, and we have, remember, the leftover from the envelope. And then we also have that other one that looks like this. Okay, so you have this, and then of course you have two of these, because we will have cut the insides for the insides of these two cards from two envelopes, right? So you're gonna just basically assume that you have another one of these. Okay, now what we're gonna do with these cards for the ones that I'm showing in photos on my blog is we're going to use another couple card bases made from Coastal Cabana. So you can go ahead and do the scoring together, cutting together, and all together for making 4 cards from 2, you would need 2 full sheets of Coastal Cabana, okay? All right, so we're gonna work with one of them, and I'm gonna show you with this one here. So with this one here, I just kind of like looked to see where this flower could be centered on my card, and I marked it with my pencil, the top and the bottom of the white where I wanted to cut it. So this is one simple way to make a card from this. So I laid it in my trimmer with those 2 marks lined up in the channel. And then I made sure that this edge here was parallel to the lines that are going up and down. So I have to tip it just a little bit. And I cut. With this extra piece, I cut 3/4 of an inch. So I'm looking at this side of my trimmer now, and I'm bringing this line, this edge, to the 3/4 of an inch mark. I'm gonna hold this down nice and firm and cut again. And now I have a piece that I can use for a sentiment piece, like a little label on top. This is just gonna become scrap. For this, I'm going to stamp onto my scrap. Let's just open this up again, keep it flat so we can stamp on here with the one that says Bunch of Thanks. That's the one we just used. Here it is, because that one's a little bit thinner, and we're going to stamp on that right there. And then we can take our scissors, or you can trim it again. Scissors, here it is. And we're just gonna cut upward so that we have a little rectangle piece. Remember, this card is going to get just a plain piece on the inside. Now you could stamp on it first, and if you make a mistake, you could take and flip it over and stamp again. This is pretty thin paper though. This is an envelope paper from the kit, right? So, thanks, Nan. Just checking to see. Love it. That tape one is fun, isn't it? We're talking about the different emojis. So Nan is one of my YouTube channel members. And so she gets to use the extra little emojis. So, hey, good morning, Lori. Glad you could come. All right. Product number for the stamp set case, the little organizers. I do not have a product number for that right offhand. Go to, here, I can show you how to find it. So if you're gonna go, hang on a minute. Let's do a incognito window. See, I don't have my Trisha with me right now, do I? Okay, we're gonna go ahead and go to my website. And you're gonna go to the shop tab, online products, all online. And then what you can put in here is organizer. Organizer. I'm typing with one hand. And let's see if it brings it up. Let's go to organizers. Here they are. The stamp and die organizers. This is what you're looking for. 167772. See, normally Trisha would go ahead and bring that in for you. And she's not here. She's not here today. We're going to go back to the desktop. And so I'm trying to answer all the questions as we go. So then on the front of this, we can add this layer here. And we can put that down with like glue, the multi-purpose liquid glue, or you could use, this tape. Tear and tape adhesive is great. All right, so then we're just gonna stick that there. Now this here is like, oh, that kind of like bugs me that it doesn't go all the way over. Well, then you can bring in more of your ribbon. And I don't have a lot of that ribbon left, so I'm not sure if we're gonna be able to get a whole bunch of it out of here, but you can take and tie around here. And I'm just gonna trim that. I believe this is about, I wanna say 14 inches, 11, 12, 13, 14, maybe 15. I just always eyeball it. So you take and make sure that these are nice and even on each side. They're not one, you have to make sure that they are straight across. And then you tie over your overhand knot in them. And if we want to see mostly gold again, we can flip one as we tighten. And now we have our fun little ribbon on here. We can trim it on the two ends. Notice I didn't use any tape. I don't like to use tape when I'm adding ribbon because I want to be able to adjust it. So at this point, I can take and curve my cardstock and I can move where that knot is. I'm going to shift it down a bit. I'm also going to pull it back and have these parts come up. So I'm just going to lift them. There we go. And shift it back so that the ribbon's going underneath that part of the bouquet. So, and I might even like shift this knot a little bit more. But then we take and add this to this portion with dimensionals. Let me grab those again. Just a couple little mini dimensionals here. Press those down, take the backings off. If the backings are hard to get off, you can always use like a little scissors to help pull them off. And this I'm going to add across the front, underneath the bow of the bouquet. So now we have our other version using the bouquet part of the card. So you could do the same thing with this one. Okay, same idea where you take and mark it, cut it, add a little sentiment, and the ribbon on the side, right? But what I did was something slightly different just to give you, again, another option. So we're going to take our card base, and in fact, maybe I'll do it on the crumb cake just so that you get an idea of what the crumb cake would look like. because I have one almost ready to go here. Fold that, use our bone folder, give it a good crease. So on the other one, I laid this in this direction instead and thought, wow, what if I followed this line, this edge here, and made that parallel to the top and bottom portion of the card. So I laid this in here, and I think I even used my grid paper or something to kind of help me out here. But I positioned this so that this edge was parallel and that the whole bouquet was in there. Now you're gonna have a portion that's cut off down here, but that's just the stems. And so, you know, just deal with it. Just deal with it. And then I came in with my pencil. Does that look straight? Tilt it a little bit more. There we go. And we're going to mark and mark. And I'm just marking like a 1/16 of an inch up from there. Now this will be cut straight because we're going to be using the flat edge of that part of the card. See how I'm doing that? I'm pushing just the flat edge. I'm allowing these flowers to be out of the way, and I've got my mark of my pencil right here, and I'm trimming, and then I'll rotate in this direction, and we can line that edge up with this mark here, and you can see all the corners are now squared. So that's another way that you can do that. Oh, and I'm going to keep this in here because another thing that might bother some of you are these score lines that are in here. So what you could do is you could take and make those score lines be part of the design. So you can just take and do extra score lines in there wherever you want. Kind of just a fun crisscrossy kind of look, right? So now we're adding that score line into the design. Do you see how I did that? Can do the same thing over here, just a couple times, maybe right here. There. Now it looks all scored like on purpose. And then we're going to add that to the front of the card, and we'll add that flat. You could add it with dimensionals if you want to. I'm going to add it flat. Oops, we ran out. Have you guys ever changed out seal adhesive? It's pretty easy. You just take these two sides and separate them. Just pull. Then you pull this cartridge out and you grab a refill. You open it up. I always cut these because it takes me forever to find the separation, but you just take and pull this out. And here's the one with the knobbies in it. You put the big knob into that space and the little knob into this space. Then you put the cap back on and you're ready to roll. Literally ready to roll. All right, so there's that. Now we can add this to the front. And because there's not really two sides of this, I don't mind that I'm stamping on this after I've added it to the card. After adding it to the card, I'll be able to kind of get more of a visual of where my stamp can go. And I'm going to take the one that says thank you and stamp it directly in this space here. And I want to press firmly because I do have some score lines in there. So I'm going to press firmly and hold it for a while. Now on this one, because I don't have such bright colors, I'm totally fine with adding some twine going through here instead of the ribbon. And plus I've run out of the ribbon. So we're just gonna add some twine here. And we're gonna make it go all the way across with a little bit of extra so I can tie a bow. There we go. And I'm tying it right over the top again because I'm not adhering anything yet. I'm just positioning it where I want it to be. And I'm tying. In fact, no, I'll go ahead and tie a bow. I was going to say, maybe I could just tie a knot. You can tie a knot if you don't like bow tying. So there's that, and I can adjust it. And now what I can do is open up my card, kind of curve it, bring it up, shift this, pull this up a bit, shift it underneath. And there we have it. You can stick it back down because we do have adhesive under that section. So just stick that back down in place. And now we have our twine instead of our ribbon there. And because we're using the softer colors on this card, I'm gonna use the yellow from my embellishment choice. My, what are these called again? They're called the low profile sparkle dots. Squish that back up on the end, push, slide, and pull. And this embellishment, I also thought would look good in the center of the flowers. So I believe, and I'll do that on this one too, I added one to the middle of this flower. And then we'll just add another sparkle over here or something. Oh gosh, we'll do another one because I don't like working in even numbers. We like odd numbers. There we go. So imagine the inside of this one having that layer. You have all the score lines kind of crossing through for some variety, for kind of like part of the design. But this is the other one if you wanted to do the Coastal Cabana look, okay? I'm now going to pull up on my computer so that you can see. This is a PDF that you can have access to by clicking on the link in my blog post. I'm sorry, in the video description. So if you look in the video description here on YouTube and you click on that link, it will take you to my website where you can access this downloadable PDF. It's got the title, it's got the date, and it's clickable to the blog post. Measurements for a set of 4 cards, the supplies that you would need, all shoppable because you can click on them, and then the photos of those 4 main finished cards, which I'm going to bring back out again, and then I'm going to show you one other option that you might, actually a couple. I think I have 2 options over here. Hang on, still grabbing them. Okay. Oh, I think I know what it was. I just had okay. So I have over here one more option, but I have a choice within that option also. Okay, so we're gonna pull that in now. And I'm gonna close up my ink because there's so much mess on my desk that I know I'm going to, I'm gonna make something fall in it. Do I ever use my blends and add some extra color to the die cuts? You can, absolutely. I try to keep my alternates for my kits on the simple side. I don't want people to feel like they have to own it all, but yes, you could use blends markers. In fact, I have several Stampin' Blends markers. Those are our alcohol-based ink colors. They are great for coloring, right? And so you can, I believe I've done that with some kits, but I don't bring in a lot of extras. I don't typically bring in dies. I don't bring in embossing folders typically. Now I'm going to show you another option here, and this one uses an embossing folder. So if you feel like your background on either your Coastal Cabana, your crumb cake, or if you wanted to use white willow, you could use white willow. If you feel like it's too plain for some of the cards, you can add texture to it by just bringing in an embossing folder, such as the beautiful pattern embossing folder. But then you'll need that tool, the embossing, the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Thanks, you guys. Oh, good. Okay, so I'm gonna lay these out here so you can see them, just the different options. These are the main options. I'm gonna bring in the main options again, the ones that I have on the PDF. So you have, let's see here, these kits or cards here. And then we have the 2 simpler ones, right? With the extra label pieces. So these are the ones that are on the PDF. And then we also did, let's see, those are the same. We also did this one, this simple one with the Velcro dot. And I think that's it. I think those are the options, right? I hope I'm not missing something. My desk is seriously a huge mess right now. Okay. I hope you enjoyed that. So, oh, thanks, Bpree. You're sweet. Thanks, you guys. I really had a blast with this kit, and I didn't think I wanted to even touch it because the cards, again, that come in it are just, gosh, they're just so cute. You know, like they didn't need changing in my mind. But it is nice to be able to take a kit that includes the stamps and the inks and be able to make it more, to be able to get more out of it, so that instead of just those, how many were there? 8 cards, you can get 16, right? You could get even more if you want to chop your bouquets in half. You could do like half a bouquet on one side of a card base and then half on another side of a separate card base. You can have a half bouquet on each. So you can really, and you know, go ahead and fussy cut them. Fussy cut the bouquets out so that they're separated from the rest of the background here. That was that other option I was trying to think of. So you could take and cut them all out. It takes a little bit more work, but very fun to get the results in the end. The news that I have, let's see here. We're at the end of December, going into a new year. 2026 is right around the corner. On that note, if you haven't gotten the product of the month for the month of December, you'll want to hurry and do that in case it sells out. I have not heard of it selling out yet, which is great. It's that beautiful blues paper. Let's see if I can find it really quick so I can show that to you. All right, we're going back to the online store. We'll just take a little trip here really quick. So if you go to specials and you click on product of the month when you're in the online store, you can see the True Blue Florals paper, and you can get that for, in the US, $5 with a qualifying order of $75 or more. So, and if you're going to spend that much anyways, at least through me, you're going to get other perks. Any $50 order or more purchased through me in a particular month will earn you the All-Star tutorial. And that you can see by going to shop, go to my tutorials, and when you've clicked there, you can see this is the latest of the All-Star tutorials. These are Paper Pumpkin Creatives. These are All-Stars. There's a difference in the imagery. You can click on them to learn more, but the All-Star tutorials, this is the one for the month of December. So a link to this would be gifted to you by purchasing $50 worth of product through me. You would also earn a loyalty point, and you can learn about my rewards system by clicking on rewards and going to loyalty rewards. Stampin' Up! Also has rewards. I mean, there's all kinds of goodness when you purchase product through a demonstrator through Stampin' Up! If you are a demonstrator, purchase from yourself so that you can get your discount, right? That's always the best. And if you have a demonstrator, purchase from them. I love sharing. I don't, expect anyone to have to order from me just by watching my video. I want you to enjoy what you see and then order from the people that you are loyal to. Let's see here. Do we know what the January product of the month is? We do not. Nobody knows yet, and except for the Demonstrator Council. So if you're friends with one of those people, you might be able to pull it out of them, but they're not supposed to tell you. They get to create with it, and then they share with us. And whenever the first day that they can share with demonstrators will be sharing with all of you. I am certain of it. At least that's what I like to do too. So when I know, you will know. Make sure that you follow me on Facebook. Facebook is where I immediately post to. Where's my little link here? So I have a Facebook page, Stamp Your Art Out with Rachel. I immediately post to that first because it's super easy to get the news out there right away. And then I add it into the promotions area of my blog posts. If it's like huge news like free shipping or something, I will put it out in my customer newsletter. So you can also subscribe to my newsletters. You just go to stampyourartout.com, click on home, and then choose subscribe. And you can either subscribe to my blog posts or my newsletters. Any other questions while we are going? I'm just gonna quickly scroll through the words here, through things that you guys have written to me recently to see if there's any other questions. So product of the month is coming soon for January. Don't miss out on December's. And for those of you that are demonstrators, I hope that you're joining us in Long Beach in March. Registration is still happening. It's happening through mid-January. I believe the 16th is the last day to register for Onstage, which is our convention, our annual convention that all demonstrators can be a part of. In fact, if you are not a demonstrator and you want to go join all of us crazy fun people in Long Beach, then you can become a demonstrator. Just click on the description below and you can see a link to joining, and then you can be part of my group, and we are going to have a fun time. So you can become a demonstrator and then you can register for Onstage. That's it. Don't forget to look for future lives on my Google Calendar, which is also linked below. The next one will be Tuesday, December 30th. It's not going to be Wednesday because we're in kind of an odd time of the year here. So Tuesday, December 30th at 11 a.m. Central Time. And then I will go live again next week on that Friday at 7 p.m. So thank you, everybody. We had a wonderful Christmas. Yes. I hope all of you did. I hope all of you have had some wonderful holiday happenings and celebrations going on. And Happy New Year to all of you if I don't see you on December 30th. Thanks, everyone, for joining me. Now I'd like you all to go and stamp your art out. Bye-bye.